Welcome to FactSpark. In this episode, we'll take a look at one astonishing geographical, demographical, economic, or political fact for every country within Europe. To avoid confusion, let's start off with clarifying the boundaries of Europe that will be used for this video. To keep it simple, we'll use the Ural River to the east and the Caucasian Mountains, as well as the Caspian, Black, and Mediterranean Sea towards the south as Europe's natural borders. All territories of countries which are outside of these borders, such as the Dutch, French, or British overseas territories, are excluded from this list. We will go through this list alphabetically, so we'll start with Albania. Albania is the only country in the world whose energy consumption is covered to 100% by hydroelectric power plants. Andorra has the highest tourist to capita ratio, with around 129 tourists annually for every inhabitant. Austria is the second richest landlocked country in the world, only falling short of its neighbor Switzerland. Azerbaijan has a city floating in the Caspian Sea. Neftaslari is a settlement built around an oil rig which houses between 2,000 and 5,000 inhabitants, depending on the season. It has its own shops, bakeries, and hotels. Belarus' national animal is the European bison. After all wild specimens were hunted to extinction in the 19th and early 20th century, today's population of around 1,500 animals is solely based on the reproduction of a few dozen animals in the 1950s, which were held in captivity until then. Belgium is holding the record for being the democratic country staying the longest time without a government. In the period between 2010 and 2011, the newly elected parliament took 589 days to form a government. Bosnia and Herzegovina's capital, Sarajevo, was one of the first cities in the world to construct an electric tram system. Bulgaria is one out of only 6 places in the world where shaking your head means yes, while nodding means no. Croatia is the 5th fastest shrinking country in population after joining the European Union. The Czech Republic is the country in Europe with the lowest unemployment rate of only 2.2%. This is a big step better than even the 2nd and the 3rd place, with Germany and the Netherlands currently at 3.1 and 3.3%. No matter where you are in Denmark, you will never be more than 52 kilometers away from the coast. Estonia has the highest ratio of startups and supermodels per capita, as well as the 2nd highest literacy in the world. Finland is home to 187,888 lakes and sets the record with this. France is the country with the most Nobel Literature Prize winners in the world. With a total of 15 winners, it lays far ahead of the US and the UK, with 10 winners respectively. Georgia is considered one of the most ecologically diverse countries in the world, with landscapes ranging from subtropical to alpine climates. Germany is the country with the most castles in the world, accumulating over 25,000, of which most of them were built over 200 years ago. Greece is the ethnically least diverse country in Europe, with 98% of its population being ethnically Greek. Hungary is home to the Latin-based language with the most characters in the alphabet. While the traditional Latin alphabet only comprises of 26 letters, the Hungarian alphabet has an additional 18 characters, making it 44 in total. Iceland was under the control of Norway and Denmark for over 780 years before it gained its independence in 1918. Ireland's first language is actually Irish and not English, but in reality more households in Ireland actually speak Polish than Irish. Italy is home to the only active volcanoes on the European mainland. In total, there are 3 active volcanoes in Italy. Only 5.4% of Kazakhstan's landmass actually lays in Europe, but this small share already makes it the 14th largest country by area in Europe. The flag of Kosovo is one out of only 2 country flags in the world that have a geographical representation of the country's borders on the flag. Latvia's highest point in the country has an elevation of 312 meters above the sea level. Since the highest point of Estonia, their neighbor to the north, lays 6 meters higher than their own, Latvians decided to build a tower of sufficient height just to surpass Estonia. Lichtenstein's capital is Vaduz, with a mere 5,450 inhabitants, but it's not actually the most populous city. This title goes to the city of Shan, with 5,748 inhabitants. We'll continue with the 26th country of the alphabetical order of countries in Europe, which brings us to Lithuania. Lithuania is the geometric center of Europe. Luxembourg is the 2nd richest country when looking at the GDP per capita. This wealth attracts many expats, which today make up 43% of its population. Despite laying on the African continental plate, Malta used to be connected to Sicily with a land bridge, which is now submerged at a depth of over 100 meters. Moldova is the poorest country of Europe when looking at the GDP per capita. Monaco is the second smallest country in the world and doesn't have their own airport. Instead, it operates several helicopter pads, which have a traffic of one helicopter every 20 minutes in peak hours. Tourism in Montenegro constitutes the highest percentage of its GDP out of all European countries. The Netherlands are the agriculture powerhouse of the world. While only having the 141st largest landmass, their agriculture exports are the third biggest in the world. North Macedonia underwent a name change in 2018 to settle a dispute with the Greek and basically the rest of the United Nations, which prevented all attempts from North Macedonia to join the EU up until this point. Norway is one of the front-riders for a more sustainable future and lower carbon emissions, even though they are statistically the country to be the least affected by global warming. Poland's geometrical center is the city of Piotrek, which when translated to English means Friday. Portugal is home to the Vasco da Gama Bridge, which is the longest bridge in Europe, spanning over 17 kilometers. The Parliament building of Bucharest, Romania, is the heaviest and one of the largest buildings in the world. The construction of this building depleted 40% of Romania's GDP annually for a period of 5 years. Russia is home to the highest mountain of Europe. The Mount Elbrus stands with a height of 5,642 meters in the north of the Caucasus. San Marino is considered the oldest country in the world, holding independence since the year 301. Serbia's capital, Belgrade, is considered one of the oldest continuously settled places in the world, with confirmed settlements dating all the way back to 5000 BC. To help against several invasions in the medieval ages as well as the Ottoman era, a lot of castles were built in today's Slovakia. This gives Slovakia the highest castle per capita ratio in the world. Slovenia has an incredible biodiversity within its borders. While only occupying a mere 0.004% of the world's landmass, it is home to 1% of its biodiversity. The flight connection between Spain's capital Madrid and its second biggest city Barcelona is the busiest flight connection within Europe. Sweden is the country with the most forest in the European Union. Switzerland has such a high lake density that you can never be more than 16 kilometers away from one. Turkey is located both on the Asian and European continent. The European side only makes up 3.06% of its landmass, but houses over 10.6 million people, making up 14% of Turkey's population. Ukraine has one of the largest life expectancy gender gaps, where women live around 10 years longer than men. This can be drawn back to high levels of alcoholism for men. The UK both participated in the shortest as well as one of the longest wars in history. The Anglo-Zanzibar War was resolved after just 38 minutes, while the so-called 100-Year War lasted for a total of 116 years. While being the smallest country in the world, the Vatican City also has the shortest rail network in the world, with only 300 meters of tracks and one station. The system is mostly used for ceremonial purposes. Thanks for staying till the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the fact about your home country, and stay tuned for more geography videos on FactSpark.